John F. Kennedy was the 35th President of the United States, who was assassinated on the 22nd of November 1963 under what many consider to be suspicious circumstances. Despite the official investigation concluding that Lee Harvey Oswald was responsible for his death, conspiracy theories remain to this day about who really shot JFK. As it turns out, Slovenia, which, if you didn't already know, is this small country here, sandwiched between Italy, Austria, Croatia, and Hungary, has its own version of the JFK assassination, except instead of the president being assassinated, it was a former presidential candidate and influential politician. But let's rewind a bit.
Yeah, it's rewind time.
Who exactly was Ivan Kramberger? Ivan Kramberger was a Slovene inventor and politician who was born in 1936 in the village of Ženjak, located here in northeastern Slovenia, though he would later move with his family to the village of Negova, located here. Kramberger worked for a while as a chimney sweeper and then worked at a hospital in Germany as a dialysis machine technician. He became rich after he invented and patented multiple improvements for dialysis machines. Kramberger donated most of his money to charity and became known in Slovene as the Dobrotnik iz Negove, or the benefactor from Negova in English. But our story really begins with the 1990 Slovene presidential election. This was Slovenia's first post-socialist era election, beginning Slovenia's transition to a capitalist parliamentary democracy after decades of Yugoslav socialism. Kramberger ran in this election, portraying himself as a man of the people, as a politician going against the establishment. During the election, he traveled across Slovenia with his pet monkey, his cool hat, and a sports car, attempting to rally the average working-class Slovene to his side. His political views mainly involved ideas like supporting the poor and helping to ensure peace. He didn't manage to win, however, coming in third place and ultimately losing to the man that would become Slovenia's first president, Milan Kučan. But he still managed to secure an impressive 18% of the vote. 2 years later, in 1992, Kramberger decided to participate in the 1992 parliamentary election along with his party. However, Kramberger's political career, and indeed his own life, would be cut short on the 7th of June 1992 in the village of Jurovski Dol. He was shot by Peter Rotar, who was allegedly drunk when he shot him. At least, that's the official story that the police gave. But conspiracy theories surrounding his death remain. Firstly, neither the shell casing nor the bullet which supposedly entered Kramberger's chest were ever found. Secondly, it is alleged that Rotar shot Kramberger from a distance of 64 meters, or about 210 feet, and from a difficult angle. But this level of precision seems quite strange, as it would have been rather difficult for even a trained marksman, let alone a drunk man, to have shot that precisely. There is also the supposed trajectory of the bullet that makes things even more suspicious. Apparently, the bullet ricocheted after having been shot through Kramberger's body, and this trajectory was deemed to be impossible. Furthermore, Rotar admitted to the murder at the time of his arrest, but afterwards, when he finally sobered up, he took back his confession and denied having anything to do with the assassination. He was sentenced to 12 years in prison, but he was released in early 2001. He continued to proclaim his innocence until he died in 2019. Another aspect to the story is that a few months before Kramberger's assassination, his monkey was supposedly found dead, having been murdered using a butcher's knife, with a note apparently having been left behind predicting that Kramberger would meet a similar fate in the future. Although, I was only able to find this account in this one archived article by the Slovenia Times, so maybe take this claim with a grain of salt. So, who really killed Kramberger? The main suspect that people point to is a professional sniper, possibly a former member of the Slovene military, or by somebody connected to the UDBA, which was the former secret police of Yugoslavia. The difficult distance and angle of the shot seems to support this. Kramberger's open criticisms of political elites and his growing popularity in Slovene politics, as shown by his success in the 1990 presidential election, may have provoked them into a conspiracy against him before he was able to achieve further success in the 1992 parliamentary elections. The conspirators hired a professional sniper to assassinate Kramberger and then used Rotar as the fall guy, similar to conspiracy theories like the JFK assassination and the role of Lee Harvey Oswald as a fall guy for the CIA. So, that's the conspiracy theory. However, the truth still remains unknown. It's unfortunate, but it's likely that we'll never know the truth of what happened that day in the late spring of 1992. Whether he was truly assassinated by a drunk man or by a professional hitman as part of a conspiracy, he remains a symbol of hope and a warning. When political outsiders get too loud, their silence may sometimes be permanent. And the truth tends to be buried underground forever, along with them.